how to apply emotional intelligence in our everyday life. Have you ever found yourself looking at someone and wonder, how is she always so totally in control of things? How is he always keeping his cool? How can he think so quickly and clearly despite the pressure around him? Emotional intelligence is their ability to monitor their own emotions as well as those of others. EI is the capacity to understand and manage your feelings. Let's dive deeper into what EI is and how you can apply emotional intelligence to strengthen yourselves in our everyday lives. EI is a set of emotional and social skills that collectively establish how well we perceive and express ourselves. It shows how we develop and maintain social relationships for long periods of time, how we cope with challenges and stress, and how we use emotional information in an effective and meaningful way. Having high emotional intelligence is a predictor of success in your life and work. How so? Keep listening to find out. How does emotional intelligence help us? According to Daniel Goleman, a world-renowned behavioral scientist, the part of the brain which supports emotional and social intelligence is the last circuitry of the brain to become anatomically mature. And because of neuroplasticity, the brain shapes itself according to repeated experience. This means that since this part of the brain matures the last, some or a lot of people may develop faster than others. Some may say that some develop and mature faster than others, but there are practices and actions that we can take in order to strengthen our emotional intelligence. But before we delve into that, let's dive into the signs that show high emotional intelligence. How do you know you are emotionally intelligent? Here are a few signs that show you are emotionally intelligent. You are viewed as an empathetic person by others. You are an excellent problem solver. You are not afraid to be vulnerable and share your feelings. You set boundaries and aren't afraid to say no. You can get along with people in different situations. You are able to shrug off a bad moment and move on. You ask open-ended questions. Let's delve into the elements of emotional intelligence. Building your emotional skills is essential to understanding your own feelings and attuning yourself to the feelings of others. It's a skill that can be learned and strengthened when practiced consistently. To better understand your emotional skills, the first step is to familiarize yourself with the essential components of emotional intelligence. Number 1 is self-awareness. This is considered the foundation for all the other components of EI. Self-awareness means being aware of what you are feeling, being conscious of the emotions within yourself. Here's how to know if you are self-aware. People who are aware and in touch with their emotions are better able to guide their own lives. Team members need to be in touch with their emotions to interact effectively and appreciate emotions in others. So ask yourself these questions to see if you are self-aware. Do you know your strengths? Do you know your weaknesses? Are you familiar with your drivers or motivators in life? Do you know and uphold your values? Do you know your impact on other people? If you've answered yes to most or all of these questions, then you are generally aware of yourself and your inner being. Number 2, self-management. This is the second key component of emotional intelligence. Self-management is the ability to control and redirect disruptive impulses and moods. Operationally, it means that team members need to balance their own moods so that worry, anxiety, fear, or anger do not get in the way of what needs to be done. Self-management means not letting your emotions cripple or hinder you. Number 3, social awareness. This third factor of emotional intelligence means being aware of the world around you and how different environments can influence people. Increasing social awareness means improving your skills to connect with others verbally, non-verbally, and in the community. Next is relationship management. The fourth component of emotional intelligence is the ability to connect with others. It is when you know how to build positive relationships, respond to the emotions of others, and influence others on the team. This is relationship management. Lastly, we have empathy. Empathy is understanding other people's emotional makeup. It's considering others' feelings and stepping into their shoes to see their perspective. This is especially when making decisions. Having empathy means being able to see through other people's eyes, knowing how to understand others' perspectives and not judging them in any way, and being aware and sensitive to cross-cultural differences. So here are the steps to take to strengthen your emotional intelligence. Now that we've had a better understanding of emotional intelligence and its importance, here's where the work starts. These are the steps that you can take to strengthen your EI. Number 1, learn what your triggers are and how they can impact your emotions. Practice observing what you feel. Number 2, ask for constructive feedback from others to enable growth in knowledge and competence. Number 3, actively listen to others, stepping back in order to observe objectively. Number 4, practice deep breathing and other relaxing exercises to keep a clear mind. Number 5, practice mindfulness by doing one task at a time. Number 6, foster and build upon relationships, acknowledging others' needs and feelings. Next, learn to bounce back from any problem and come back stronger. Number 8, come up with solutions instead of arguments. Number 9, let yourself feel all your emotions. And lastly, number 10, practice daily gratitude. You see real-life examples of emotional intelligence around you every day. Sometimes we don't even notice them. We use our emotional intelligence to navigate everyday situations and relationships without even realizing it. But the key to strengthening our EI is by knowing when we are actually using it and when we need to use it. This is how to use emotional intelligence in your everyday life. A colleague who has been reprimanded by your boss or had a difficult day at work with a client might want to share his feelings with you. Being emotionally mature and intelligent means listening empathetically, then objectively explaining the possible reasons for the boss's anger or your client's lashing out during the meeting. Then advise your colleague on how to avoid this in the future. You do all of this without upsetting or offending your colleague. This is an excellent example of using your emotional intelligence at work. How to use emotional intelligence as a leader. Leaders have an unshakable version of what needs to be done, and they need no external reason to achieve their goals. A great leader is one who is able to outline each team member's place in the larger scheme of things. An emotionally intelligent leader can see if a team member is falling short and asks him to share what is going on instead of reprimanding him. During challenges or when facing problems. We all experience challenges in life, whether that's because of the current pandemic, money problems, relationship problems, or health problems. An emotionally intelligent person will see these challenges as just that, challenges, and he won't let these obstacles hinder him or her from taking action. This person sees the opportunity despite the difficulties. During an argument or heated discussion. When you are in a heated discussion with a colleague, instead of lashing out, ask yourself a few questions to understand the root of your emotions. Remaining calm might necessitate walking away from a situation or taking deep breaths. The key is learning how to control your emotions and not letting your emotions control you. Emotional intelligence when dealing with mistakes. An emotionally intelligent person takes responsibility for their actions and behaviors. Constructive criticism and feedback are a part of life. Rather than blame or make excuses, listen to feedback. Acknowledge the other person's point of view, and then make the necessary improvements or adjustments. Qualities of emotionally intelligent people. They speak kindly to themselves. When your inner critic starts talking, write down what it is that it's telling you. Then write down a more realistic and compassionate evaluation of yourself, not taking this critic into mind. By doing so, you aren't boosting your ego, but practicing speaking to yourself kindly and from a place of compassion. Remember that we must speak to ourselves in a way that we want to talk to a close friend or a loved one, with love and kindness. Number 2, don't compare yourself to others. We've all been a victim of this, comparing ourselves with the next person. We scroll through our Facebook and Instagram feed and see how our former classmates are climbing the corporate ladder, or another person is getting married, and another one opening their business. We tend to feel small and behind because we start comparing ourselves with what we see on social media. Instead of comparing yourself to the next person, try comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. By doing this, you are more motivated to change your habits that align with your goals. Next, they are willing to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. It's sometimes easier said than done. But when you find the courage to step into the unknown, step out of your comfort zone and try things you have no clue about, it liberates you. It frees you from limiting yourself and gives you more opportunities that you don't even know were out there. They don't stop because they're afraid. We all have some kind of fear or worry. That's normal for human beings. We see fear as part of the process. The difference between a regular person and a person who achieves success is that they work on their goals day in and day out despite that fear. Lastly, they take action to address their thoughts. Journaling and writing down your thoughts, especially the negative ones, is a great way to address them. When you see your thoughts written out there, you reread them and assess them from a third person's perspective, without any judgment. Inside of your head, it has power and seems so much larger than it is. But written down, it is now outside of your mind and you gain a distance from the emotion that it creates. Another way to address your thoughts is by confiding in a trusted friend or loved one. By sharing what you have going on in your mind, they share their perspective with you. In conclusion, nobody ever recommended becoming robotic or leaving your emotions behind. In fact, to be able to experience life to its fullest, we need to be human and feel all our emotions and experience everything that life has to offer. But being emotionally intelligent will help us navigate life's ups and downs so much better. Remember, you need to channel your emotions to drive things and people forward, rather than getting carried away yourself. Taking these steps into consideration to strengthen your emotional intelligence will benefit you and those around you in the long run.